This is Ernest Lamoth. I'm a reporter for the Southland Journal.
Good morning. My name is Claudia Silva-Hernandez. I am an attorney here in Cook County.
Okay, welcome, and thank you very much for taking some time today.
Thank you so much to the Southland Journal for giving me this opportunity. I greatly appreciate it.
Can you talk a little bit about your overall career background?
Sure. Just first, very briefly, like I said, thank you to the Southland Journal for providing this platform for candidates to speak to Cook County residents. I actually grew up in the south suburbs. I grew up in Dalton and also in Flossmoor. And my parents immigrated to the south suburbs from San Luis Potosi, Mexico. And my dad was a union worker, a Boilermaker, and my mother has had a dental practice in South Holland for the last 40 years. So our connections run deep to the south suburbs. But career-wise, after college, I worked at Morton Community College in Cicero, and I also worked at Inroads Chicago, which is an internship program for minority students entering the corporate world. I then decided to go to law school. I went to the University of Illinois College of Law in Champaign. And ever since graduating from law school, I've been licensed since 2007. I've really focused my practice on researching and investigating very sensitive, highly contentious issues. So for example, I worked at the Attorney Registration and Disciplinary Commission, where we investigated attorney misconduct. I worked at the Chicago Housing Authority. I also worked at the Independent Police Review Authority, where we investigated police misconduct. And one of my recent positions was with the state of Illinois as an administrative law judge. And I really enjoyed that position, and that I was able to connect with a lot of appellants from the state of Illinois who were in very dire situations, applying for SNAP benefits, medical benefits, childcare benefits during the COVID pandemic. So that's a little bit briefly about my background as an attorney.
Can you talk a little bit about what are some of the reasons why you decided this was the right time and the political office to run for?
Sure. I've been contemplating running for office for some time now. However, I think what really motivated me to do this was recently my experiences working with the state of Illinois. I really enjoyed the process of being an administrative law judge and really being able to connect with appellants, speaking with appellants, and really doing attorney work and deciding their cases and issuing and ruling on decisions, but also doing a lot of social service work, which is really speaking with people and being an active listener and figuring out how to problem solve with individuals who are in need of state of Illinois services. One of the other reasons I decided to run, and I think this is an important reason to run, in collecting signatures for my petitions, I've come across many individuals, and some of them in the south suburbs, who really are disappointed in our judiciary and are disappointed in the judicial system and in the judicial process based on things that they've heard in the national news and the local news. So I really think people should feel empowered in their communities to vote in the right individuals, and to vote in individuals who are who mirror their similar backgrounds, and who can identify with communities. And I definitely think it's alarming, the distrust that is out there right now for the judiciary, and it needs to be addressed. And it needs to be addressed by judges themselves, people such as myself who sit in these positions, but it can also be addressed by community members such as your followers and their family members and their community members, by encouraging people to vote and encouraging people to research their judicial candidates and to really trust their gut instinct on individuals and who they think would be the best fit for these positions.
And you talked a little bit about that, but can you just talk a little bit more also about some of the platforms that you're very much passionate about?
Sure. Like I said, I'm very passionate about connecting with individuals, making individuals feel heard, making sure individuals don't feel invisible. My parents immigrated from Mexico, as I stated, and when they immigrated here, they immigrated directly to the south suburbs where their compadres and where the people that they knew lived in the 80s. And back then, there wasn't that many Latino families, and it was not common to be bilingual in the school systems where I grew up. So I know what it's like, and I can identify with people who feel that they are on the outskirts and who feel unseen or invisible. I won't go into too much detail, but when I graduated high school in the south suburbs, my mother was told that I was not college material and that, I should not go to college. But I ended up going to a 4-year college. I ended up going to graduate school. I worked, ended up going to law school. So one of the platforms I definitely want to champion is really listening to people, electing people who come from our communities, who know what it's like to have been on the peripheries and who have overcome that and succeeded in their lives, whatever our definition of success is. I also think it's important to have restorative justice in our judicial systems, to really work with communities and work beyond the judicial system to help individuals and to help them get them on their feet again and lead productive lives as citizens of Cook County.
That's fantastic. Is there anything else you'd like to add that maybe I didn't ask?
No, that's it. I mean, like I said, I have plenty of legal experience. I take the role when I was an administrative law judge very seriously. I was very much of an active listener. People were always very appreciative, the appellants, when they spoke to me. And I really enjoyed that time, which is why I really think that I am ready to be on the judiciary and on the bench. I think I'm the change that people are looking for. I think I can help ease the disappointment that of our citizens of Cook County and nationally feel in our judiciary. And hopefully, like I said, I can be the change that really people are looking for. And just to close out, I recently had the opportunity and I was invited to come speak to the laborers union here in the Canaryville neighborhood in Cook County. And I will leave that message that I left with them to the viewers and to your audience in the Southland Journal. I know those of you who are watching, I'm preaching to the choir to a certain extent, and that you're interested in judicial candidates and that you're interested in the political process and voting the right people in office. But I would encourage you, just like I did to the union members that I spoke to at that meeting, to really let's go out into our communities and really let's engage our family members, our nieces, our nephews, our aunts and uncles, and everyone to really become part of the political process, especially with something like a judiciary election. Your vote has a direct impact on who gets elected into office. It's not that you vote and then other people decide for you, or they figure out how many, what's the best candidate to go for anyways. No, it's your vote specifically. If you come out to vote, your vote will have a direct impact on who is in the judicial system and on who gets elected. So I would leave that message to your viewers. Please go out into your communities and encourage people to vote on June 28th. I believe early voting starts on June 13th. I do have a website, Silva-Hernandez for judge.org. And I would just encourage people to really vote. Like I said, in collecting signatures, I've run into so many people who are unfortunately and very rightfully so disenfranchised with the judicial system. So many young people who are working in our service industry who are of age to vote in our last election and currently, but who don't know if they're registered to vote, who did not vote, who don't think that they even have a say, who don't think that their vote means anything. Please go out into your communities and please share this message with them that yes, you do have a say. Yes, judges are probably the most important people that you're going to be voting for because we have a direct impact and direct service relationship with the community. And so I hope everyone can encourage each other to come out and vote on June 28th. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you very much for taking some of your time as well.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.